Tip number 6, listen and listen only. That means that you're not supposed to plan what you're going to say next when the customer is still discussing the concern or whatever he needs to discuss with you, because sometimes we're so used to like planning what we're saying, we are getting ahead of ourselves. For example, if someone is talking with us, in your head you're already thinking of what am I going to do in this case, even though the customer or the person hasn't even finished speaking yet. So for you to effectively improve your listening skills and to be an effective listener, for the first few seconds of the call while the customer is stating the concern, try to not do anything just yet aside from the key points or typing the keywords that I've mentioned later. But that thing is just for you to type the key points or the keywords, but do not yet think of what you are going to do after that. Okay, so just listen while the customer is talking to you. Do not plan ahead in your head what is the resolution for this. You can't talk and plan at the same time. It doesn't work that way. You have to avoid that kind of multitasking. And for me personally, the only multitasking that I do, if necessary, is listening while at the same time getting the key points and the keywords or phrases. But if you get distracted with that and you have a pretty good listening skill, then you can certainly do away with a notepad if you like. So it depends on each person what kind of strategy you like. If you start to get distracted just because your thoughts are going somewhere else or somebody passed by and you got distracted, then you have to snap yourself back to the earth, back to reality, focus and think that you are assisting someone and you are talking with someone over the phone. You have to think that I'm working and this is what I should be while I'm working. And tip number 7 is to paraphrase. Learn to paraphrase what the customer has said. So in relation to taking down notes, taking the key points or the keywords, as well as just listening and not planning ahead of time, if the customer is still talking, you also have to learn to clarify with the customer just to make sure if you got things right. So paraphrasing is stating the customer's concern in your own words to let the customer know that you are actually listening and that you understood what the customer was talking about. If the customer said, I think that I shouldn't be charged for my phone bill. I shouldn't be charged extra for my phone bill because I paid on time. So you can paraphrase by saying, so Mr. Customer, you mentioned that you already paid on time. May I know when that was? May I know the date when you paid your phone bill? You can actually paraphrase rather than try to repeat whatever the customer is saying. Okay, so you already paid your bill. Okay, so it gets kind of annoying if you keep repeating what the customer is saying. So instead of repeating, paraphrase and confirm from the customer if what you have listened to is accurate. So you can say something like, I understand that you already paid your bill last January 15. Is that right? Tip number 8 is to put yourself in your customer's shoes. This is what we most commonly call as empathy. When you feel that your customer's concern is important to them and you know that it's really important to them, even though it doesn't really happen to you all the time, or that kind of issue does not happen to you. So for example, the customer was charged too many times, even though you haven't been charged extra all your life because you've been a very good payer of your phone bill. Even though that situation did not happen to you yet, but you think that concern and that issue is important for the customer to be resolved, you are putting yourself in the customer's shoes. I know it's very hard sometimes to do that, especially when it's the same call over and over again. It's the same reason, same thing that you get to listen to every day of your life, every single call. But hey, we are here to help the customers. We are hired to listen and to help them resolve their concerns. So it's better to do it genuinely. And with that, you'll be able to cultivate empathy, not just in the workplace but also in your day-to-day life. That you'll be able to apply that to your daily life, even though you yourself haven't exactly experienced that kind of concern. Tip number 9 is to develop a desire to learn from the conversation. A lot of call center agents, because the work is kind of routinary, sometimes you get to treat it as a burden rather than an opportunity to learn from someone's issue or from that conversation. I know it's really understandable that it gets to happen sometimes, especially if you've had a bad day. But then again, you have to remember that this is the job. This is real life. So instead of treating it negatively and treating it as a burden to you, try to be more optimistic and think of it or look at it as a learning opportunity, or as a situation that you can actually learn from and apply to your everyday life, or maybe to your next call. You can try to look at the key points of that call and be able to apply it to your next call. In that way, because you have learned something from that call, you don't treat it as something like, oh my god, this is another call, another burden call. So it's just going to drag your emotions down. It's just going to drag your day, and you won't be able to listen well if that's the case. If you think that at the beginning of the call, oh my goodness, this is going to be a burden, then no, you'll not be able to listen carefully all throughout the entire call. So I suggest that from the beginning of your call, treat it as a new learning opportunity, even though there is a big possibility that it's going to be the same call and same exact issue as the previous customer. And last but not the least, develop your listening skills even when you are not in the workplace. So even though you're at home, on my previous video, I've talked about how to improve your English communication skills, and part of that is to read books. Yes, it does help because you somehow try to read the words in your head, or sometimes when you try to read out loud, it helps you listen to yourself. Or if not, we live in an era wherein audiobooks, internet, YouTube, just like this, everything, there's so much pieces of information and details that you can get online and through the internet. Sometimes you get to practice when you have group conversations as well. Practice your listening skills by not interrupting, applying all the things that I've mentioned earlier. Always remember that just hearing is very different from listening. And that's about it for today. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. I hope you've learned something from this video. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click the red subscribe button on YouTube down below. Or if you're watching this on Facebook, I will also link my YouTube channel as well. If you have any comments or topic suggestions, then please don't hesitate to comment them down, and I will definitely consider those. Thank you so much again, and see you next